Good evening, LTL Nation. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anita, and this is Courage on Life Talks Life. Courage derives from the French word cœur and means from the heart. That leaves us with one aspect, that whatever we do out of courage is something we do that comes from our hearts. Now, our holy books, history books, Hollywood movies are all filled up with mythologies and myths of people that were courageous, right? So what is happening nowadays when we are taking choices in our life? Usually what we think in our societies and our culture is that you are either born with courage or you're born without it. But that's a big misconception, because you are not born or not born with courage. Courage is a choice that you make in your life, no matter if you want to take actions to something or if you just want to change something in your life. Now, we always say you have to overcome fear when it comes to courage. And why do we say that? Basically, courage cannot exist without the feeling of fear. That's the whole meaning of being courageous. Now, we all feel fear. And fear in general, it's not a bad thing because it protects you from any real danger out in life. So if you're somewhere in the jungle and a tiger runs behind you, you'll feel fear and you're right to walk away and to run away and to protect your life. But in real life, fear is something that stops us from everything we want in life. Now, there are different courageous people out there in the world, and it's not just superheroes and everyday people like you and me. Courageous people are entrepreneurs who sacrificed a lot of money to pursue their dream. Courageous people are as well people who took other risks, who traveled the world without actually knowing if this travel is going to bring them some sort of income. When you want to be courageous in life, you gotta look to your life in about 5 or 6 years' time. And imagine one scenario. You look back in 5 years and you have made all your decisions based on fear. That means you have never traveled to places that you wanted to see. You have never entered relationships that you wanted to enter. You have never experienced real, true life challenges. How dull would your life be? And now imagine yourself in 5 years' time looking back, and because you have made decisions out of being courageous. That means you have traveled to places you wanted to see. You have entered relationships, no matter how they worked out, because you were courageous. You have taken decisions that you wanted to take because they were important for you. Now imagine the difference between those life scenarios. Which life would you prefer? Being courageous is living out of your comfort zone. And comfort zone is not necessarily a bad thing, okay? It keeps you safe, you feel comfortable, you usually tend to know the outcome of what's going to happen, but it's not going to bring you anywhere. Getting out of your comfort zone and being courageous is really the way to live an extraordinary life that you, me, and everyone out there actually really wants to live. Because why do we look at superheroes and admire them? Because they're brave, because they take choices and they fight for whatever they want. Why don't we take people, for example, who live ordinary lives as role models? Not because they're bad, but because they don't really live the picture that we want to live. So why, instead of admiring other people, you don't admire yourself and be courageous and make choices that you want to make because you feel they're right for you in your heart, no matter what everyone else says around you. And there are 3 different ways to live courageous that I'd like to discuss with you today. Now, the first step is that you have to understand that being courageous is a choice. It always comes down to that. So whatever you do in life, whatever it is, if you want to travel, if you want to step up and be a bigger boss in your career or just take a bigger role in your career. If you want to speak out because someone is treating you badly, it takes courage, because taking courage means there is always a risk involved in the outcome that you don't know yet about or that you fear, and that's why you don't want to take it. But you gotta make the choice in order to make your life extraordinary. And there is nothing better than to live a life that is really extraordinary. Now, the second step is it requires practice and patience. Like everything else in life, being courageous requires an everyday practice. And now you don't need to step out of your comfort zone and be like a non-swimmer in the open water, not knowing how to move and drowning in the deep sea. But I'm talking about little steps that you can take every day. If it's, for example, a different route you take to work, do it. If it's giving a person that you have never met on the street a compliment because you like the way they're dressed or because you just find them beautiful, compliment them. Smile at people you don't know. This doesn't sound very courageous in the first place, but it's the first step to getting you out of your comfort zone and realizing that doing something that you have not done before, it's actually not that bad. And the third step is do it for a bigger cause. Whether the cause is doing it for your sake or for the sake of other people. There are so many superheroes that we, for example, have in 9/11, right? All the firefighters who went inside the buildings and saved people at the cost of their own lives. These are superheroes. These are courageous and brave people. So whether you do it for yourself or you do it for the cause of a bigger picture, it does not matter. But be courageous in your life. Because again, if you want to look back to your life one day, you want to say, I am proud of the life I've lived and I am proud of the choices I made, no matter where they brought me today. So I hope that my talk could help you to be a little bit more courageous and inspire you to take those little steps. Again, you do not need to do major steps if you're not ready for them, but do little things each and every day. And you will see there will be a turnout after some time. So please like and share our videos. Please leave your comments and share your opinion with me. As always, we love to hear from you. Go to our website at lifetalkslive.com. Visit us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitter account. And please tune in tomorrow as Omar and Dunya are going to take on courage. I'll see you next week. God bless you. Have a beautiful evening and goodbye.